right, welcome to today's Q&A. All right, let me know who's here and we'll get started. Thanks you guys for joining me today. Let's turn the little light on there. There we go. All right, good to have you guys aboard here. My name is Jessie. I'm with Decker Truck Line, and today is our weekly live Q&A here on our YouTube channel. So as always, this is a legit Q&A. So if you have questions, please put them in the chat so that I can answer them as they come in. And then we'll be talking about a few things here. Dean, good to talk to you. Long time no talk, right? Literally just chatting over the Facebook. Over Facebook. So awesome. Good. Glad to have you here. But like I was saying, if you guys have any questions, please make sure that you put them in the chat so that I can answer them as they come in. Because I imagine that if you have a question, so does somebody else. So we'll kind of nip it right there and answer those as they come about. Yeah, awesome. Any questions right out of the gate about the driving jobs that we're going to be talking about today? You can put in your zip code, your city and state. That all helps. All helps to answer those questions. So that's where we'll start off at. Fair enough? Excellent. All right. So some of the main positions that we've been talking about here recently, well, last week we discussed a lot about our lease purchase. I've been getting a ton of questions about the lease purchase program. And yes, we have it available both in our refrigerated and flatbed divisions. Of course, it depends on where you live, on what's available out of your area, but we do offer both flatbed and refrigerated. And it pays 72% of the load plus the fuel surcharge. Hey, James. James is here. James Miller out of Butler, Missouri. Yes, we have flatbed out of Butler. So we can get you home about every 2 to 3 weeks. It's usually every other weekend is more accurate. And you've got the option of running coast to coast, James, or you have the option, a more regional option of like the Midwest, or really anything east of Denver is going to be pretty common ground for you. So you have either option. Sound good? Okay. Yeah, so the lease purchase program that we've been discussing is 72% of the load. You can get the full rundown and all of the details on last week's live if you want to check that out. Of course, if you have more questions and we need to elaborate a little bit more, go ahead and put it in the chat. A question that we got in response to the lease purchase flatbed division was whether or not the headache rack came with the truck once the truck was purchased. Yes, for flatbed, if you were paying for the flatbed lease purchase, so it's a little bit different, that one does include the chromed out, decked out, the headache rack that goes with it. James says, don't have any flatbed experience. How much refrigerated experience do you have? Because we can train in the flatbed division, as long as you have a minimum of a year of experience. So I know I'm going back and forth here. James is asking about our company position. It's a flatbed position out of his area, but with just the refrigerated experience, wondering, what his options are. So to better explain, we do offer training for those who have a minimum of 1 year of tractor trailer experience. Now, if you don't have that, but you have 6 months of flatbed, then you would qualify for our flatbed division that's coast to coast. But our Midwest one, we do train in. So if you're interested, and again, home about every other weekend. You're in an area I might be able to get some refrigerated freight into, because Kansas City is a good area for us when it comes to refrigerated. So I can do some checking, James. 10 plus years, 10 plus months. Well, anyways, if it's 10 years, you're looking at, I got to cheat here, but you're looking at about 66 cents a mile to start off with, at least, with 10 years of experience. With just 10 months, it'd be 55 cents a mile. Now, in both cases, 10 cents per mile is per diem. And I'm giving you the rate of pay for the refrigerated division. So James, what I'm expecting is for my operations to come back and say, you know, they can work with the area, but it'd be more about every 2 to 3 weeks in your area, out on the road, and then home for, you know, roughly a day and a half for every 7 days you're out. So that's what I'm expecting them to say, but it's going to be something that I'll have to check on for you. In addition to that, as I write my little note here, check on Butler, Missouri. So in addition to that, that's with the assumption that you want to stay with refrigerated. Okay, good. Gotcha. Got your message. Wants to stay with refrigerated. So that's what I'm going to do some double checking on with operations. See if they can make an exception to the hiring area based off of your experience and how long you plan to stay out. So if you plan to stay out longer than the 2 to 3 weeks, let me know. I'll give them those details, because then obviously they'll have a little bit more leeway to home time and getting you there, and deadhead and all that kind of stuff. So, however, if you're needing to get home more often, James, I can pretty much tell you that we wouldn't be able to do that because of the hiring area. So 3 weeks I can do. All right, I'll talk to them, see what I can get approved here for you, and get back to you on that. Actually, what I'm going to do is, now, are you looking to go to coast, James, or are you looking for more of a Midwest and what do I want to say, Midwest to East type run? That's something more regional. Did you have a preference in your running lanes? Because that'll matter as well. So you're hearing me type away, but what I'm doing is I'm reaching out to the operations manager to see 3 weeks. So I'll see what I can do here for that. Regional. Okay. So that is good to know. So prefers, so not out west. Gotcha. Okay. So I'll find that out and then I'll be able to get back to you. So James, if you want to either reach out to me on Facebook or this number that keeps flying by here, you can call us there and we'll be able to have that answer for you. My name is Jessie. If you have any specific questions or if you want to speak to me directly, otherwise any of the recruiters can help as I send out this message. Cool? Okay. So we'll be checking back with you on more details. Before I jump in, I am getting some weather alerts from Matt here, so I'm going to just kind of take a minute to give a shout out or an update on some of these weather alerts. I-70 eastbound, the right lane is closed between exit 123 and exit 125. This just showing exit. Hanging Lake, Glenwood Springs, from mile point 123 to mile point 124.3. The right lane is closed due to traffic impacts. Slower speeds are advised. There is a picture here that it's sent, and I'll get that posted as well. But he said the right lane is closed for heavy equipment conducting rock debris cleanup from the Colorado River. Watch for slow-moving trucks and flaggers. James says regional, but we'll go to other areas. Perfect. Okay. All right, and then one more weather reporter update here before I jump back into the Q&A. Thanks you guys for being patient with me, by the way. I just want to make sure that everybody who is in those areas has the update. Snoqualmie Pass, it's clear and open. Blewett Pass, US 97, clear and open. 4th of July Pass, there is construction still. Yes, construction. So the driving lane around 4th of July Pass, just going to be a little bit slower. Just be aware of people out there. Lookout Pass, clear. US Highway 212, Montana, clear. Cabbage Hill, I-84, clear. Donner Pass in California, clear. Parlay Canyon in Utah, clear. Vail Pass in Colorado, I-70 there is clear. Monida Pass in Idaho, I-15, clear. Wyoming, I-80, I-25, clear. South Dakota, I-90, clear. Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, clear statewide. Same for I-40, Arizona, New Mexico, and Kansas and Nebraska. So little bit different story than what we were receiving last week. I won't be bummed by that. Not at all. And I'm sure you guys won't be either, right? Okay. All right, let's jump back into the Q&A and answer some of these questions that are coming in. I'm just going to backpedal just a little bit here. James isn't in an area of Missouri that we have flatbed. However, with the number of years of experience that you have in the refrigerated division and that you're willing to stay out 3 weeks at a time, it's very likely that we'd be able to work with that. So we're going to do some double checking and make sure that we can do that. For the most part, Kansas City area, which you're not far from, and that's why I'm going to include that, but the Kansas City area, we do offer refrigerated. We offer it in areas of Omaha, and of course, about a 50-mile radius of Omaha, and of course, all of Iowa, Illinois, most of Illinois, I should say, and Indiana for sure. So the Kansas City area, what do we have there? We have some refrigerated, we've got some flatbed. So I've got either option depending on your amount of experience that you're looking for. And yes, we can train in flatbed for our Midwest flatbed division, which is a little bit more regional. Not a little bit, it's definitely more regional than our over-the-road division. And you're looking at a home weekly option, usually in our Midwest flatbed. So for those of you who are in the Kansas City area, we have that option for you to get home weekly. Let's see. Dean says, why are there commercial breaks? Gotta get the info out there. Jeez, you bet. Oh, why aren't there commercial breaks? There should be too, right? I've got a commercial for you. Are you ready for it? You can blame Dean for this one. All right, here's my commercial. It's actually a bragging moment for the company, so we're just going to go with that. How's that? That is not the picture that I meant to share. I'm glad I didn't get over to everybody. My goodness. All right, hold tight. Here we go. Bragging. Man, that wind is crazy. Yeah, bragging works. So, as that's coming in. Yes, very exciting. So we are the top 20 of the 2022 best fleets to drive for. Looking forward to seeing who the top is. Hey Ken, how are those puppas doing? Ken Halen is here. You bet. That's our commercial break for the day. Love it. Hey, James, I already got a message back from the director of operations, and he can definitely do the 3 weeks out at a time and keep you more regional. So really more of the Midwest, even though it's basically Denver East for the most part, it's still a lot of Midwest. A lot of Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas City area, which will be in your favor. What else? Minnesota, like Minneapolis area is busy. You'll be getting down into the Dallas area, Texas area, Houston, Texas, Oklahoma. That's also a busy area. So yes, we can do the 3 weeks out. He said shouldn't be a problem at all. So there you have it. Glad you asked. Thank you. This is your favorite TV show? Good answer, Dean. Good answer. The starting pay. So James, if you were referring to 10 years of experience, so I wanted to be clear that it was 10 years versus 10 months. If it's 10 years of experience, then you'd be at least at 66 cents a mile. So 10 cents of that 66 is per diem. So you're not taxed on it. So you'll be able to take advantage of that. Now, with 10 months of experience, you're looking at 55 cents a mile. Again, 10 cents of that being per diem. So you're not taxed on it. But you'll get a penny raise in both cases, a penny raise after 90 days. You'll get a penny raise every year on your anniversary as well. So you'll be able to see those increases. Right now, the cap, 10 years, perfect. So right now the cap is at 70 cents a mile for the base. So that's the base pay. That's not including any of the bonuses. But the 70 cents a mile currently is what it's at. And then in addition to the cents per mile, you have the base pay cents per mile. You also have the opportunity to make an extra 5 cents in monthly bonuses. So those are two different bonuses. And there's another bonus we'll talk about here in a second. But so two different bonuses. The first one is the scorecard bonus, which is up to an extra 4 cents a mile. So if you didn't get the full 4 cents a mile, which would be a perfect scorecard for us of 1,000 points, then you could get anywhere from 1, 2, 3, or 4 cents. Okay. With the Smart Drive is one of our safety features that's in the truck. So it includes the inward and outward facing event recorders, the lane departure, speed gauge, following distance. What am I missing? There's a lot of different features as part of that. So if your score is 20 or below, you'll get an extra penny per mile on all the miles that were completed that month. So for this month, so for February, if the load completed on or before the 28th of February, that will be included within the miles for the month that you'll be getting that extra, penny per mile for a scorecard or Smart Drive, or up to 4 cents a mile for scorecard. Cool? All right. Gotcha. Now, that isn't the only bonus that we have. We do have a sign-on bonus currently, which is $5,000. The $5,000 sign-on bonus is an accelerated sign-on bonus. So we sneak an extra bonus right in on there, and that's based off of the miles. So this is just for the first year, hence the sign-on. It's $5,000 total, so it pays out quarterly at $1,250 each quarter. The first quarter, at each quarter actually, if you have at least 70% of, or qualifying at least 70% of the time for our guaranteed pay requirements, doesn't mean you're maxed out at the guaranteed pay, just means that you met all of those requirements for that week. If you met it at least 70% of the time, then you'll get the $1,250. As of right now, I don't know anybody that hasn't met those. I mean, most definitely you want to be meeting those on a regular basis. They're the normal ins and outs of the position. On-time delivery, so no driver service failures. Be available for dispatch at least 5 days out of the week. No load refusals. Get your paperwork in on time. We have scanners. It's actually what it is, it's a TransFlow GeoTab unit. You can take a picture with it, and then you'll be able to crop the picture, whatever, but it basically is a scanner that gets the document over to the payroll department and confirms that you got it. So get your paperwork in by 10 p.m. on Sunday night. Make sure that you do that. No CSA violations for the week and no preventable accidents for the week. Those are the basic qualifications for the guaranteed pay or minimum pay requirements. And they're also the requirement for at least 70% of the time to meet those for the guaranteed pay on the sign-on bonus. However, if you run over 25,000 miles for the refrigerated division, 25,000 miles within the quarter for the refrigerated division, you'll get an extra 5 cents a mile on all the miles over 25,000. Yes. Flatbed, if you run over 20,000 miles for the quarter, you'll get an extra 5 cents a mile on all the miles over 20,000 for the quarter. Again, that is just for the first year, but it is part of our accelerated sign-on bonus that you'll be able to take advantage of. There you go. Okay, I'm going to backpedal here because I did see a few other questions. Make sure that I get it. Are the bounds quarterly or monthly? The bonuses are monthly. The monthly bonuses are monthly. There we go. And that's two of them. However, taking those two and setting them aside, those two combined are an extra 5 cents a mile. But you could get levels of them. Well, at least levels of the scorecard. Where the Smart Drive, it's just a penny per mile. You either get it or you don't get it based off of meeting that requirement of 20 or below for the points. So combined, the monthly bonuses are 5 cents a mile. Okay, moving that over. Bringing over the quarterly bonuses are part of the sign-on bonus, and it's just the first year. So the quarterly bonus pays out $12.50 each quarter, plus an extra 5 cents a mile on all the miles over 25,000 for the refrigerated for yourself, or 20,000 for flatbed for the month or for the quarter. Cool? All right, cool. Oh, you already got, and I repeated it anyway. Sorry. Thanks, James. I'm a little slow to the questions here, so I'm backpedaling. Jarvis, hello. Hey, Jarvis, thanks for joining us. He asks, he's a new driver, starts orientation on the 21st. Awesome. Exciting. Good to have you. Appreciate you coming aboard. Planning on going lease purchase. Excellent. So if you missed last week's video, we dive deep into some of the lease purchase questions, and hopefully that will answer all of them. If you have any specific questions, ask away. That's what this is for. But yes, lease purchase is 72% of the load plus the fuel surcharge, and that'll be on all dispatch miles. James says, do you have inverters in the trucks? If yes, how big is it? Yes, we do. It's an 1800 watt inverter. But there are a lot of amenities in the truck. So this is one of my favorite things to talk about. So I'm so thankful that you brought it up. Our trucks are equipped with all kinds of goodies. APUs, 2000 watt APUs with an 1800 watt inverter. We have refrigerators, microwaves, 32-inch televisions with Epic View satellite TV. Now, side note, the Epic View satellite TV is company paid. Unless you are an owner-operator or lease purchase, then you have the option to purchase it at $16 a week. But other than that, company pays it. It's 100 plus channels, HBO, Showtime, Sunday Ticket, Cinemax. Did I miss any? It's 100 plus channels. So if you're looking to watch the Super Bowl, odds are it's on there. And okay, so 32-inch television. What am I missing? The TransFlow GeoTab unit, which is consists of our ELDs, our what else do I want to say? Our navigation. It has the free Wi-Fi that's inside of the GeoTab unit. It's a tablet, is what it is, and it's in the truck. So yes, APUs are 2000 watt. We also have CB units in the truck. There's a couple of different ones, but it's a Cobra CB unit that's in the truck. We have, trying to think of what else to give you here. We've got Best Pass. We will have Best Pass, I should say, because we're transitioning from Pre-Pass to Best Pass for the tolls. We have DriveWise for the scales. I mentioned the free Wi-Fi, which is in the GeoTap system. I mentioned Smart Drive, which is one of our safety features. What am I missing? We have air ride seats, both passenger, double bunks, good storage. So there's good storage. Now some of the storage or some of the trucks have the vinyl curtain or snap curtain for storage in some of the areas for the closet especially. Where the new ones that are coming out, these 2022s, are supposed to have a harder, I don't know, plastic? I don't know what it is. But it's a harder door for the closet in the truck. Did I answer that question? Inverters, yeah. So 1800 watt inverters. Sirius radio. The Sirius radio is on the truck if you want to take advantage of it. However, you are responsible for the subscription of it. What most people do that I know of, they stream using their phones. So we do have a phone mount that you can get. If it's not in the truck, which odds are it's not, you can access or you can get a hold of our safety department and they'll provide you with a phone mount. So of course, hands-free devices, that's what we're doing. And you'll be able to use that phone mount. What else do we have? Bunk heaters, I didn't say that. We've got bunk heaters in the truck. I think that's it. That's it. There's a lot of amenities. There's quite a few. Yes, James, we do. Dean says APU is the greatest amenity ever. Yes, it is pretty darn handy. But yes, James, we do have, it's actually a dog policy that we have. And this is how it works. So I'm just going to lay this out here. The dog policy is either the option of having 2 dogs at 40 pounds combined, so no more than 40 pounds, or having 1 dog 85 pounds or less. In both cases, it's a non-aggressive breed. So they have to be non-aggressive breeds. We'll need the shot records, we'll need a photograph, and there's goodies for by the way, dog treats and kerchiefs and all kinds of stuff in our Decker store if you guys want to check that out. We're fans. Anyways, yes, we do have a dog policy. It's a $700 deposit where $500 is refundable. But before your dog can ride, you do have to have $100 down. So that would be the one requirement. $100 down for the dog policy first. Cool? All right. And again, $500 of that is refundable. The $250 goes towards like the detailing and stuff like that. Non-aggressive breeds. I think I said that, but just in case I didn't, that's interesting. William says, hello, William. He says, when will they get the best pass? It will be smaller than the pre-pass unit. You know what? I don't know if it's going to be smaller, William. I don't have that answer. I do know that we're switching it out now, and by the 1st of March, they're completely supposed to be switched out, and they'll be active. So the best pass will be active as of March 1st. The 28th of February is when the pre-pass will be turned off. Currently, the pre-pass is being used for our scales, and DriveWise is being used for our tolls. Speaking of DriveWise, there were, I think 5 locations within Iowa alone that were being updated within these last couple of weeks. I think it's 5 locations. That part I can't remember, but they seem to all be in the Iowa area, which is an area we obviously run quite a bit of since we're based out of Fort Dodge, Iowa. But I did talk, Dustin mentioned yesterday, DriveWise worked great all the way down to Florida, so he hasn't had any problem with it. If you are having issues with your DriveWise, for those of you those of you just tuning in, we switched over to DriveWise recently from pre-pass, and so if you're having issues with the unit, we'll need to actually contact TransFlow in order to get that fixed. If you're having issues, if you're not, that's fine. Do know that right now in Iowa, you may be called in a little bit more often, just temporarily as they're doing the upgrade. But overall, your DriveWise is supposed to be, I think it's in a 1 month period. Actually, let me get you legit statistics here. Over a 1 month period, so this was October that we measured it, our Decker drivers had a total of 9,311 site visits that were supported by pre-pass. So again, that number was 9,311. Same month, all in October, there were 11,176 sites visits that were supported by DriveWise. So DriveWise has a larger site capacity. So it's an 11% increase in coverage for DriveWise, which would have resulted in almost 450 more bypasses in just one single month. That's why we switched over to DriveWise, for convenience for our drivers, which is what we try to keep in mind when we make changes. Is this better for our drivers? Is this better for the company? Overall, how is this going to affect us? So that's why we switched over. But there were 5 new sites. Oh, I got it. There's 5 new sites that are opening within the state of Iowa, which was the one that had the majority of the sites that weren't swapped over yet. 5 being in the next 5 weeks. So there you go. That gives you some updates on that. Ken says backwards. DriveWise is for scales, pre-pass for tolls. Okay, so I said them backwards. Thank you. All right, DriveWise is for scales, pre-pass tolls. But we're switching from pre-pass to best pass. All right, thank you. Thank you, thank you. And that's why I love you. All right. Lisa says, I feel like you hired James to ask all your questions. I know. He does a good job, doesn't he? Keeps it rolling. Dean says, best pass. Dean, I think you already have yours switched out, right? Dean says the best pass is a different shape. The total area is probably the same. There's 2 parts to the best pass. I think it's blue on the top part and white on the bottom. Thanks, Dean. All right, so William, did you get that? Dean says that it's probably about the same size, just different shape. Mass. Now you're getting all technical. I hear a lot of science in this explanation, Dean. Awesome. Okay. Okay, so we're good. I just want to make sure we're caught up on the questions there. Ken says anytime, that's what I'm here for. He had to correct me because I was all finagled with my drive-wise and pre-pass. What was what? What's what? Yeah. Okay, pre-pass, scales. Go into best pass. All right. By the way, I was asked about the CAT scale app. Yes, you can connect, highly suggest, you connect the CAT scale app to your TransFlow app. Now the GeoTab unit in the trucks has that capability. The GeoTab unit actually has quite a bit. Not only does it have the free Wi-Fi, which I know is what you're interested in, but it also has the navigation. It has the capability to scan the document, which is, taking a picture of it. That's my scan. So it has the capability to get the documents to the payroll department. So you can get paid. We all know that's the good thing. So navigation, document transfer to payroll. So the scanning it. Your ELDs, hello, that's the number 1. Wi-Fi, your communications to your driver manager is also available on the TransFlow system. There's a lot more, so that's just a handful. When you have an OS&D, so if you need to report an accident or a claim or something like that to safety, you can do that on the TransFlow GeoTab unit as well. You can find important contacts. So hey, maybe you want to give safety a call, you have some questions, can't remember their direct number, or you didn't program it into your phone. Never fear. We have an option for that. You just go down, important contacts, and it'll bring up the important contacts. You've got safety, you've got night ops, of course, you've got your recruiters, you've got the different departments, maintenance support, all of those to hit up if you have questions or any needs. If you have any damage to the truck, it can be reported on the TransFlow GeoTab system. And what else? Oh, what else? Scorecard, Smart Drive, things like that. So the scorecard and the Smart Drive, I mentioned earlier when James was asking about the monthly bonuses, but you can actually access that information on your GeoTab unit. So you go in there, you can access your payroll on your GeoTab unit. So it's all right there, handy dandy for you. I didn't know that either. Dean says, I just got it last night and I went home, so I don't know. I only know it's on my dash or on my windshield. So it is there. Excellent. He's talking about the best pass. Yeah, we just are switching over to that. I just was hearing about it, so we're getting those updates for you guys. Okay, excellent. You asked about the rider or the dog policy. I'm going to follow that up with the rider policy, which I recognize are 2 totally separate things, but those are 2 questions that I get hand in hand. They usually follow each other. So the rider policy is usually available after 60 days with a clean driving record, no accidents or incidents, and great longevity. We can often get that approved early. So if you have questions about that, you just reach out to your recruiter. By the way, this number that keeps flying by on the screen at a slower pace, that number, it goes to my recruiting department. So our recruiting department, 888-668-0698. It's mine now, Anna. Did you hear that? So that's our recruiting department. You can also apply online at drivedecker.com. But if you have some questions, you need a few answers, and you didn't ask them up here, you can always get a hold of one of the recruiters at that number. Okay. All right, what was I talking about? Rider policy. Okay, so the rider policy is ages 10 to 69 years of age, and it is $25 a month that they ride. So keep in mind, if you've got somebody that's riding, like if one of your kiddos is riding during the summer months, and they're there for the last week of June into the first week of July, that's 2 months that you've got the rider policy for. So it's $25 a month, $25 per person, because it's an insurance policy that you're purchasing for that $25 for the coverage, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's if you've got, and it's just one rider at a time. So if your son is riding in June, but your daughter's riding in July, that's 2 separate ones, right? Okay, just checking. Or if both of them are riding in June just at separate times, it's still 2 separate ones. All right, I'm glad I could clarify that for you. Well, I don't know if anybody was asking, but that's what it is. Okay, some of the other benefits. Since we're on benefits, let's kind of stick with that. We have Med1 for our prescription. We've changed to Aflac for some of our additional coverages, such as short-term, long-term, disabilities, things like that. Those are all available. Our Life Balance, which is like our EAP program, I should reword that, EAP program, which is the Employee Assistance. That is a free program to all of our employees and their families, and that is through Aflac. So that has changed. We use our basic benefits, our health and medical. That is through Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's an 80-20 plan, and that starts after 60 days. There's a couple of different plans depending on where you're at and who all is going to be covered. So if you have questions on that, we can send you the actual pamphlet so you can compare everything, or just ask one of the recruiters and we can send that to you so that you've got it, right in front of you. If you had some questions on certain prescriptions that are being covered, that kind of stuff, or surgeries or whatever, those are pretty handy to have. Okay, so the medical 60 days, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Dental is Delta. Vision is Vision. For those, what am I missing? I said Med1 for the prescription. Blah, blah, blah. There we go. What am I missing for benefits? Oh yeah, 401k. 401k is through Principal. It is a 50% match. Yeah, 50%. Not too shabby. Like that one. Anna says, Anna was feeling sorry for me. She had to post it to make sure I was on top of it. And that's why we appreciate her being here on a regular basis. All right, Anna says benefits are 60 days medical, dental, vision, 401k. Prescription is Med1, disability and cancer is Aflac, life insurance, etc. So, see? Good thing she's here. Ken says, do we need to call Aflac to change, or was that done automatically? That's done automatically. Well, let me rephrase. If you want to make changes to what you previously had, then yes, you need to reach out to them. But if you kept everything the same, then you're good. If you guys have any questions, speaking of, if you want to speak to our benefits department directly, you can get a hold of, and I got to double check the number because I want to say it's 515-574-40, what is it? What is, Andrea, what are you? I don't have that handy, and I usually have like sticky notes with everybody's numbers all over. I'll have to get back to you on that one. Do you have that handy, Anna? A lot of times she's already got that posted. So yeah, that'll be done. That's already been done for you. Cool. Of course I don't have it right in front of me. All right. The telephone number I'm bouncing back, but for those of you who are wondering about DriveWise, The telephone number for the TransFlow support is 813-386-0971. Can you hear the garbage trucks going by? I can hear them. They're so quiet. Just kidding. All right, good. Good. We got it covered. All right, well, we ran out of time yesterday to talk about some of the positions that we had available. So I'm very thankful that we hired James to ask those questions. Just kidding. But we do have a few minutes to answer some of those questions about the available positions here at Decker. There's a local position out of Des Moines. So anybody who is in the Des Moines area who has a hazmat and tanker endorsement, we do have a local opportunity there. So please reach out to the recruiting department. Again, the number's right here, 888-668-0698. And that way we can get you in touch with the recruiter and answer those questions, get you qualified for the position. It is a Monday through Friday position. And for the most part, it's local. I mean, you'll be home every day, but you could be going as far as 250 miles out. So, yep, local position. You could be running refrigerated, flatbed, tanker, dry van, could be a variety of things. So, sharing the love. $23 an hour is what that one pays, Monday through Friday. 7 a.m. start. And then we have to double check, I believe we still have a position out of Bessemer that just came open, Bessemer, Alabama, for a local. Again, 888-668-0698. Get with Tanya on that if you have any questions. And then we also have a number of more, they're not local, it's short haul, but it's home most nights. So in the short haul division is flatbed, and you'd be running a lot of Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, well, pretty much Iowa, Illinois, Minnesota, southern Wisconsin, Omaha, Nebraska area, and maybe down into Kansas, but probably not further down than that. So it's a really confined area. You're home, you have the opportunity to be home daily in that position, but you can also stay out a day or so if you prefer, so that you can get a few extra miles under your belt. So if you don't want to come home every day, but prefer to do 2 days out at a time, then that's a possibility for you as well. That's an option, is what I want to say. That is our flatbed short haul. We can train in our flatbed division out of the Midwest. So yes, we can train if you don't have flatbed experience and want to do the flatbed short haul. The key is living in the right location and of course having the right requirements ahead of time. So on-time delivery, obviously extremely important. But in order to qualify for the training, you need to have either recently graduated from a PTDI certified school of 160 hours or more, or have 3 months of tractor trailer experience. I was going to share a link that I don't have handy. How come? Why don't I have that handy? Good question, right? But yesterday was the first... Give me a sec. I'm going to see if I can find this for you guys. Yesterday, February 7th, right? Yeah, February 7th, there was a new regulation that had passed for CDL holders. CDL requirements. There we go. Changes. So all entry-level operators of commercial vehicles. Now this is as of yesterday. Both interstate and intrastate commerce who are applying for commercial's driver's license, the CDLs, must first satisfactorily complete a minimum training requirement before taking their state-administered CDL. What does that mean? For somebody who already has their Class A CDL, you're fine. But for those of you who are looking to get into driving and we're just going to go and take the test, a little different story, cannot do that any longer. You actually are required to have completed the training in order to obtain your Class A CDL. So a little bit different requirements as of yesterday than it has been in the past. Jarvis says, what is the process if you switch from flatbed to tanker if the opportunity comes up? Well, Jarvis, one thing is you had mentioned lease purchase, and we don't have a tanker position available in lease purchase. Lease purchase, or excuse me, the tanker position is only available for local, and it's basically for fueling purposes at our Des Moines terminal. I'm not sure that Bessemer or Fort Dodge required, if those locals required tanker experience, but Des Moines does. It's our only one that I am aware of that we have for the tanker. So the process would be extremely difficult unless you, within Decker, unless you were going to go local in Des Moines. But yeah, we don't have any other tanker divisions for us. But flatbed we do. So if you decided to go to flatbed, well, you're coming to flatbed. If you decided to go refrigerated, you have that option as well. So yeah. Now short haul, I started to talk about some of the hiring areas for short haul that can get you home on a daily basis. Sioux City, Iowa is one area. Omaha, Nebraska is another. Des Moines, Iowa, Fort Dodge, Iowa, and really, if you go straight up 35 to Minnesota to Minneapolis, St. Paul area, that route that we hire along that route too for home daily short haul. Dean says, what about farmers? That's just within Decker here. We have a hopper position available every now and then. That would be the only other, but you'd have to live in Fort Dodge for that one. But other than that, that's it. But yeah, if you're going outside of Decker, then that would be a different, based off of availability. So, good question. Okay, so short haul, that was one. By the way, for the short haul division, you are guaranteed $1,000 a week. Like most of our positions, we have a guaranteed minimum available to you. But I want to keep that in mind. We consider that a safety net. So that sucker's going to catch you if ever you fall. But no, that's a safety net for you. $1,000 a week minimum. You do need to meet the requirements. I talked about them earlier when we were talking about meeting the requirements for the sign-on bonus, being 70% compliant. Well, you're compliant week to week on these minimum requirements. Being available for dispatch at least 5 days out of the week, no load refusals, no driver service failures, so no late loads, no preventable accidents for the week, no CSA violations for the week, and getting your paperwork in on time. So getting your documents, taking the pictures, scanning those in for payroll. So those are the 6 requirements in order to qualify for the guaranteed pay or the guaranteed minimum. And then obviously you qualify for that. If your rate of pay per mile and your miles that you ran exceed that minimum guarantee, you're obviously going to get the better of the two. We want to see you succeed and soar. So yes, you'll get the better of the two. So in that flatbed division, that short haul, if you're new to driving and you just recently finished the training and stuff, you'd start at 53 cents a mile. If you have 20 years of experience, you're at 70 cents a mile. Again, 10 cents per diem in both cases. But 70, anywhere from 53 to 70 cents a mile in the flatbed division, and 10 cents of that's being per diem. So that's just the base though. So don't forget that you still have the opportunity at 2 monthly bonuses, and of course that sign-on bonus that first year. I wanted to say Dodger. Sorry. DL, Raj 40. He's asking, do you have any tanker positions or ever haul hazmat? We do have some hazmat loads. They are not a lot. And we do pay $50 extra in the refrigerated division if you are hauling hazmat, but it's not required. The only hazmat tanker position that we have is the Des Moines, Iowa local position. And you are required to have some flexibility because it could be tanker, it could be flatbed, it could be refrigerated, and it could be dry van. You're doing a lot of shuttling. You could be driving tractor trailer up to 250 miles out and back. It's a home daily position. Dean says, if you've already have your license, are you grandfathered in, right? Asking for my brother, he was asking about this, and I hadn't heard anything until you said it. If your license is valid, yes. If your license is valid. But here's the thing. If you had your Class A CDL and then you surrendered it, or you hadn't been using it for a while, and so then it downgraded into Class C or whatever, and then you were trying to upgrade it again, then you would be required to go through this basic level training that came into effect as of yesterday. That's only if you had surrendered or whatever and then are coming back into it, or it's brand new to you. But if you've had it, so in case of your, did you say brother-in-law? Your brother. So in case of your brother, if he has had it the whole time and he never let it, he never let it pass or anything, then he would be fine. Whether he was driving or not wouldn't take away his CDL status. However, finding a position or finding a company that can work with his recent experience may be a hurdle for him. So if he hasn't driven for 10 years, but he continued to have his CDL, then yeah, he might have some problems finding a position. What I would say in that would be, hey, either, if he had 20 years of experience and he's only been off 10, give us a holler. If he's, if he has 10 years of experience and has only been off a year or two, definitely call us. Let's see what we can do. We do an extended road test, 888-668-0698. But if they only had like a 1 or 2 years of experience and then they've been off for 5 to 10 years, then you'll need to get additional training in order to qualify for us to drive. If it's another option, instead of the additional training, like at a training facility, if you can get recent experience, 1 to 3 months, then we can train again, or we can not necessarily train, but depending on your circumstances, we can open up an opportunity where you could either train or drive solo at that point. I was going to see if I could find anything else. So it says the rule will apply to applicants who obtain a Class A CDL or Class B CDL for the first time, or upgrading an existing Class B CDL to a Class A CDL, or obtain a bus, passenger, hazardous materials endorsement for the first time. The rule is not retroactive, so individuals who were issued a CDL or or school bus or passenger or hazardous material endorsement prior to February 7th are not required to complete the training for the CDL. So, I stand corrected. Let me see. I was just going to double check here. It's if you held the CDL. So did he let it lapse, Dean? Ken says, so Oklahoma non-driveway state? Not that I am aware of. Iowa was the one that I knew of that had the 5 that we were waiting on. Dean says, is this basic training just for Decker? This is a DOT requirement. This is the new DOT regulation that came out. Yep, it's an FMCSA rule change. Not a Decker change, it's an FMCSA rule change. Right. So in order to comply with the FMCSA or the DOT, then he would have to follow those guidelines. So as long as he has his CDL, he should be fine. It does excavating. Yeah, he just isn't doing the actual, just because he's not using it doesn't mean that he doesn't have it and doesn't still qualify for it. So they're grandfathered in, basically. According to this article, I'm going to here you go, Dean. That should help. So lots of carriers, whoops, sorry, I lost your comment. It says, DL Raj says, 40 says, lots of carriers that had a lease owner-operator program has suspended their program due to lack of vehicles. Does Decker still have the lease purchase? Yes. Yes and yes. We have a lease purchase program. You are right, though, because there is definitely a lack of trucks out there. So if you came into our lease purchase program, odds are you're getting a truck that is used, which means you won't have a full 4-year lease term. It would be more like if it had 120,000 miles on it, you're looking at a 3-year lease term instead of a 4-year. So basically for every 10,000 miles that are on that truck, we knocked a month off of the lease, if that makes sense. So that being said, in March, April, is when we should be getting another batch of trucks. And at that point, we are planning on offering lease purchase to those who are looking. We're planning on offering new trucks to those who are interested in doing the lease purchase. But it is completely dependent on if we get those trucks like we are told we are going to get those trucks. Because last year, and I think part of the year before, last year, we were supposed to get the trucks a lot sooner than we did. And that's exactly what you were seeing with some of those other carriers as well. They didn't get them. And it was things that were out of the manufacturer's hands. I mean, they're waiting on parts. There's a shortage on parts. There's a shortage on the employees that were helping at the manufacturers to get those pieces. I mean, it was just a snowball effect, one affecting the other. The ports had been shut down for a while. So there were a lot of factors on why the equipment is low. And I know that wasn't your question, but I'm getting there. But yes, so I do believe that has an impact on us. We don't have brand new trucks that we are leasing right now. They are used trucks. So your lease term, which is normally a 4-year lease term, would be adjusted based off of the year and mileage of the truck. But that's up to you. So now our trucks themselves, we do have new trucks in the company fleet that actually right now I believe 2019 and newer. We might have a couple of 2018s that have been hanging on because we've been waiting to get those out of there. We replaced over 300 trucks, like high 300s, last year because we got rid of all our 2018 Peterbilts. So these are 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022 that we have, and mostly the 579 Peterbilts. We have a handful of Volvos and a few Freightliner Cascadia Evolutions. Definitely the majority are Petes. And so Dean says, nope, he hasn't. No, I don't think it's a bad thing for the next generation because, now that being said, yes, you want them to have all of the additional training, and a lot of farm kids can get their CDL and they're driving tractor trailer all the time. But farm work versus FMCSA regulations are quite a bit of difference, so it probably doesn't hurt to have that additional training. But that said, yes, I can understand his concern there. James says, how much drop and hook is on the refrigerated side? Good question. Drop and hook is about 50% in the Midwest around Iowa, Illinois. Indiana, you're probably looking at about 60% drop in hook, but for the most part, it's right about half and half. So, good question. I think that's it. Okay. All right. I know it is after 1, but I did want to kind of hit on a few other things. We do have refrigerated. We didn't really talk about the refrigerated division, but we do have refrigerated options. If you're looking to run more regional and you live in the Midwest, and you want to stay out of the West, we do have that option. We hire out of the Midwest. We hire out of areas of the Southeast. For refrigerated, we do hire out of the West as well. So what your home time expectations are is important for the recruiters to know, so that we can determine if we can provide that to you, or if we could provide additional options to you, or what the case is. So yes, we have over the road and regional positions. So home weekly, home every 2 to 3 weeks, home 3+ weeks, depending on where you live. Best thing to do is, if you're wondering about a specific area, please just reach out to one of the recruiters and get the details. So 888-668-0698. Perfect. All right. So that is all good. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. You can also reach out to one of our recruiters. I got that number right down there for you. Anything else? I think that's it. Cool. All right. Well, I'll leave you with our best fleets family. But other than that, you guys have a great rest of your week. I will see you on Monday on our Facebook Live at 4 p.m. Central. And we'll see you again Tuesday right here on our YouTube channel at noon Central. You guys have a great rest of your day. Be safe. Take care. Talk to you soon.